The Tory Lanez story is getting crazy, people. Let's talk about it. This is Fresh Hip Hop Opinion with your guy Olize. Don't forget to subscribe. So yes, Tory Lanez may be coming home sooner than we thought. New information has been revealed by Kelsey's driver / bodyguard, Bradley James. Check out the clip.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Miss Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was a witness to the conversation Miss Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting, 2 men break up the fight, 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. The passenger side is where Miss Harris was sitting.
Yeah, fam. That's some key information, unbelievable information, vital information. Like I said, from Kelsey's driver / bodyguard, Bradley James. He said he was privy to conversations that Kelsey was having with her husband and other people, her friends included. He said that Kelsey's the one that shot 3 times at Megan Thee Stallion. Then Tory was kind of grabbing the gun off her. Then the gun went off another 2 more times. And this comes just after Tory Lanez was stabbed 14 times while locked up in the California prison. So maybe this driver must have had some guilty conscience. And he's probably thinking if Tory had lost his life and he knew he was an innocent man in there, he probably wouldn't have been able to live with himself. Better late than never, I guess. This has brought the Tory Lanez trial back into conversation, to say the least. Obviously, people are now clamoring for Tory to be released. Chris Brown took to his Instagram story immediately and he wrote "Free Tory" with several exclamation marks just to put more emphasis on that. But like I said, yeah, the Tory Lanez case will be brought up again for sure. People saying that he should be pardoned, released from prison, and people are questioning a lot of the events that happened. Firstly, Kelsey and the driver, they were not tested for their DNA on the gun, allegedly, which is strange. Kelsey also pled the 5th, which is strange because she was not even a suspect. And even Tory's DNA wasn't conclusively on the weapon or the bullets or anything, so it is strange that he was actually found guilty. But saying that, Megan was the one saying that Tory shot her. Not many times you're gonna have the victim of a shooting saying who shot her and the person isn't found guilty. But now you really have to wonder, the world was split. Was Megan lying? Was Tory lying? Does this mean that Megan Thee Stallion was lying? As she did say, I believe, that Tory was shooting at her feet, telling her to dance. Sounds like a movie. But there was that theory that Megan, who's known for drinking excessively, allegedly, that she couldn't really remember who shot her and just blamed it on Tory out of spite. But whether she was too drunk to remember or she consciously lied, either way she's lying. If this is true, what this driver is saying, could the driver have been paid by somebody behind the scenes to come out and say this? Let the conspiracy theorists do their thing. But at the moment, the clamor is that Megan is lying, has been lying, and if it comes out that she truly is lying, how will her fans take to her? How will the people take to her? You send an innocent man to jail or prison just because he was messing with one of your best friends. It all sounds a bit too vindictive. But one thing that doesn't play well for Megan is she at first denied having a relationship or sexual relationship with Tory, and then that came out to be a lie. And not only were they having a sexual relationship, they also were actually in a relationship. So if she's gonna lie about something like that, which she didn't really need to, what else is she gonna lie about? That was a small thing. So of course she could lie about a big thing. But I'm just smelling a real cover-up. There's too many things in this case that were just a bit abnormal. But we're gonna find out, that's for sure. So yes, the man who stabbed Tory Lanez, 10 to 12, 14 times, has been identified. It's 42-year-old Santino Casio, who's serving a life sentence for a second-degree murder from a long time ago. And this guy is a serious guy, people. Check out the write-up. The inmate who allegedly stabbed Tory Lanez in prison this week has been identified as Santino Casio, and he's already serving life in prison with the possibility of parole. A representative from the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation told the Post that Casio, 42, is being investigated for allegedly attacking the rapper at a housing unit in the California Correctional Institution. Casillo's rap sheet is a mile long and dates back to 2004, when he was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole for second-degree murder, a first degree of another attempt, and then he had personal use of a dangerous weapon and inflicting bodily harm. Look, this guy is serious, people. Tory Lanez is very lucky to have even survived that situation. Not only was he stabbed multiple times, but he was stabbed in like the head, the back of the head, the cheek. This guy was really serious. I mean, just to reiterate how dangerous this guy was, the person's life who he ended was actually his 13-year-old girlfriend when he was actually in his early 20s, which is crazy enough to do that to a 13-year-old, but then to be actually in a relationship with a 13-year-old shows that this guy's mind was beyond repair even back then. And like from the report says, he tried to actually end the life of 2 others, and his weapon of choice was a knife. It's a very disturbing news about this individual. I believe the individual is Mexican as well, and there was rumors when the initial attack happened on Tory Lanez that the individual was Mexican, and that's why the rumor came out that it was some sort of Mexican and black racial war in there, but I don't believe that's been confirmed. Well, it hasn't been confirmed, so the actual reason for the attack is still unknown. But just the amount of violence involved and the timing of the attack as well. I mean, this was 7-something in the morning. Whether they'd even eaten breakfast, I don't know. I imagine this is something that stemmed from the day before or days before. Maybe that guy went to bed angry and just knew what he was going to do first thing in the morning. But in typical fashion, the conspiracy theorists have got to working, and people are saying that this guy, because he is related to an individual that works at Rock Nation, they are now saying that this is possibly a hit on Tory Lanez for some reason. And of course, Kelsey's driver bodyguard came out with what he has said, that Kelsey was the shooter. Some people are linking the two situations, like as if they knew that the driver was going to come out with this information, so they tried to get Tory Lanez out of there. Do you know what I mean? Like when I say out of there, I mean end the life. But personally, I don't think it's linked. I think this driver has probably come out with this information based on the fact that Tory was attacked. He's probably felt like, wow, this guy could really lose his life in there. Let me get this information out there so he can maybe get out legally. But that's just my personal opinion. But like I said, the conspiracy theorists are doing their thing and starting a new rumor. Another reason why people are saying Rock Nation might have been behind the hit to get Tory was because Rock Nation was heavily rumored to be influencing the reason why Tory got convicted, to the point where I believe Tory's father even came out and was speaking down on Rock Nation. Do I personally believe it? No. But there are a few coincidences that are looking a bit shady. But Tory Lanez is becoming some sort of Tupac of today. I mean, to go to prison for a crime he didn't commit, get attacked in prison and survive it. Well, it seems like he's surviving it. I've heard it's not life-threatening injuries, it's just collapsed lungs, obviously very painful, but he'll recover from that. Now this driver coming out saying this, and now we're seeing the link between Rock Nation and this guy that pretty much attempted to end Tory's life. It's almost like a book. I mean, you can make a movie out of this. But that's the current situation with Tory Lanez. I'm sure this is not the last we're going to hear from him in the near future. But I want to know what you think. Get in the comments, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It'll be very much appreciated. This is Fresh Hip Hop Opinion. Peace and love.